Hey guys, how you doing? This is episode 4 of the F1 2018 career mode, and we've got Canada and France, two tracks that I like a lot. Actually, I do like playing them on this game. I do love driving around them. They're actually quite fun to drive, and some of my stronger tracks on this game. Last episode we had Monaco, probably my worst track in the entire game, so to say that I've got over that relatively okay, got some points in it. And now we're in Canada, in a track that I actually love driving around. And I remember in F1 2004, back in the day, you could go across the last chicane at full speed and gain about 4 seconds. It was brilliant. And now, unfortunately, you can't do the glitch anymore, but it's still pretty fun to play. We end up getting 7th place in Q1. So not a bad set of laps there. We managed to get a decent time in, but I'm sure we can do better. I'm sure we can get more out of the car. I was just getting warmed up. And you can kind of see it's getting gloomy. We end up losing the back end. There's a few raindrops coming down as well, so we had to get a lap in early, and we do set a 1:11.1. And moving on then, we end up looking at the times. We 6th place, so we're doing okay, as it's not really ideal conditions out there, but will it get better? We need to get 10 for higher if we want to get through, and so far so good. I mean, in 5 minutes time it's going to rain properly, and unfortunately there's just not enough grip out there. We tried to, this is before I start the lap, so I feel like it was, I feel like it was fine to go and flash back there, and unfortunately I can't get the lap going. It's just ridiculously wet, but luckily we're in 9th place, so at the moment we're in a good position to get through. We should get through to Q3, as we're still in 9th place, and the session has been finished. And we finished in 9th place. There's too much rain, there's no grip out there to actually set a lap, so we end up getting ourselves into Q3. Lance Stroll there absolutely smashes us, but now we've got dry conditions. We can just go flat out as fast as we can, and we'll see where we finish off. And I think this is going to be our full lap then here that I'm going to show you. So keep it nice and tight into that right-handed second gear, going under the bridge. Now it's quite a tricky chicane here, because you can easily cut the corner by going too far in on the right hand side in the first chicane, or just missing that other chicane or the other corner altogether. But not a bad few corners around there. I know the AI around here are very good on this straight here. They just seem to get a good lift off from that last corner. Under another bridge now. There's quite a few bridges on this track. I love that corner as well. It's a lovely corner. You can really get the foot down early and get the power down. And a nice little short straight here, braking very, very hard down to first gear, just about making the corner, and onto the long back straight now, getting up to speeds of a 200 miles per hour right now, as we brake very hard in a second. Absolutely whiz it around the chicane and nearly get a corner cut in one in there. That was very, very close. It's so easy to corner cut, but we do finish with a 1:10.1. We're not, first now. We're first, we've set the lap, but we have lost that position. But where do we finish off now then? 2nd place. Okay, not bad. I'll take that. Not a bad way to finish the qualifying there. Starting off kind of struggling at the start of Q1.
Qualifying is complete and we're all set for an exciting race tomorrow. Your top 3 are Hamilton, Power and Sergio Perez.
But as the sessions went on, we got better. And we did a fairly decent job in total. But now what I want to do is try and get a win. Can we get a win in this race? We're not starting at the front, but we're at the front row of the grid. So we've got a chance now to get a win and get 25 points on the board. Now, let's try and get a good start here. We always struggle with starts. Doesn't look too bad, but they just seem to get a lot more. Look at Perez there. Look how fast he's been. And then we've got Stroll up my inside of my teammate. He's really making it hard for me now, aren't you, Stroll? You could have made it easy for me and just sat back and let me take the 3rd place, but no, you've made us waste a lot of time. Now Perez and Hamilton are getting away. We managed to get a position though, just about, and then get a warning for the corner cutting there, unfortunately. But Stroll there is very, very feisty off the line. We've now got 2 cars to overtake to get my win. Will we do it? What do you think? Put your predictions down in the comments section. But yeah, I reckon we've got the pace to catch up to them. We just need to get some clean air, which we've got now. Another corner cutting penalty, well not penalty, but a warning. So we've got Stroll again right up behind us, trying to dive up the inside here, but I don't think he's got the pace to really get the job done as we get off and we end up getting ahead of him still. But the more he comes at us and battles with us, the harder it is for us to, you know, catch up to the cars ahead. And the engineer just said there that we're struggling for power as one of our power units, or one of the parts of our power units is starting to get some wear on. He tries to go up the inside here, but he doesn't succeed. We're still keeping the position, but you can just see how far ahead Perez is now. And it looks like there's been an issue up ahead. Has Perez crashed? Oh, he has. He's crashed into, I think that's Gasly up ahead. I think Gasly had an issue. So he was going quite slowly. Maybe got a puncture or something. Lost his front wing maybe. And because of that, Perez must have hit him. And it means we've now got the second place. You can see there on the still image that Perez has lost his wheel. He's out of the race. There's no way he's coming back in this race now. So that means that's not a problem anymore. But we've got Hamilton still, and also Stroll behind us, really putting on the pressure right now, trying to take this position as we somehow defend again. It means it's been about 4 or 5 times now that he's come at us and tried to take the position, but we're not going to give it him easily. We just about scraped the wall. And again, it reminds us that another power output, part of our power units is actually having some wear, and we're struggling for power, so we're actually not really that quick, and that's the reason why Stroll is so fast on that straight, because he must have a better power unit than me put in his car. But we're going to the pits now, and we might come out in traffic. We have done, just behind Ericsson, so that's not ideal. Not ideal at all, but hopefully we might, well, hopefully won't lose too much time. Hopefully we can quickly get past these guys as they go into the pits on the next lap. We have done an undercut on some of these guys because they qualified past the top 10. That means they can go on whatever tyre that they want to, really. There's no restrictions. Like I have a restriction when I get to the top 10 that I need to be on one of the compounds that I finish Q2, but they can go on whatever tyre they want, so they can go on a much harder compound and then stay out for longer and pit later on. Now that's exactly what they've been doing. Now at least Vettel's behind me, but Stroll has managed to get in front of me.
Fair amount of wear to the engine now, just be aware, we're keeping an eye on it.
And the engineer Jeff keeps going on about the engine. It's really getting bad right now, but somehow we are keeping up with Stroll. He's getting stuck behind traffic though, but we've got a car between me and Stroll right now. Ericsson, the Sauber driver. We go right up inside, we dive, we end up cutting the corner, but we don't get a warning, luckily. It's a bit naughty there, we dived right up his inside, but it doesn't matter, we get the job done now. We go across that chicane, and a lot of these cars now are going into the pits, which means we should hopefully have clean air between me and Stroll to mount a charge and maybe get the position back. But unfortunately, Raikkonen sticks his nose in, gets up ahead and gets between us. So now we've got another car to overtake if we want to be able to beat Stroll, our teammate, in this race. Go right up inside it. What an overtake this was. Just about not cutting a corner, just about keeping it on the track as well in first gear. That was a beautiful overtake coming from really far back now. Look at this, how far back we were. We broke perfectly as Raikkonen got a pretty bad run into the corner, and he was really timid. He gave me that space, and that was his issue. If he'd have not given me the space, I would have had to stay behind him. But that's going to make it much easier now, getting the job done quite quickly against Raikkonen. Got a chance now, but we are down on fuel, so we have to save some fuel as we go through the race towards the end of it. But we are catching Stroll, we are lapping faster than him, which means in the future in this race we should be able to hopefully overtake him. We've got 8 laps to go, making that 7 now. We're in the DRS zone. Look how close we are right now. Can we get the move done this early on? He blocks it off for us. He does some good defending, but we do manage to go right up the inside. That was a beautiful overtake. I kind of lost the back end a little bit, but it helped us get our car into the corner a bit better and get past him. And we've actually managed to take the position now. Look at this, a beautiful overtake. Look at that. I don't think he saw it coming. And we go and take the position. Absolutely beautiful overtake there. This is me coming up his inside. Doesn't expect it. And unfortunately for him, he doesn't have the power to keep up with me, and I end up taking the position. I defend quite aggressively into that first corner, but I don't care. I've got a position. I'm in second place. I don't think we can get Hamilton though. It's a long way up the road, but maybe we can keep our second place here if we can defend well. He comes back up our outside here, but that's not really a smart move. But it's quite a hard overtaking zone unless you go up the inside. With 3 laps to go now, we should be able to get second place. And now Raikkonen's coming back at Stroll, mounting the challenge to try and get that podium. He could take Williams, it could take the double podium away from Williams today, and that would not be great for Williams, but at least we're going to beat him. He's actually getting further and further behind. Look at the gap now between me and Raikkonen, 3 seconds back into the finish guy there. So we've got a chance to definitely, as long as you don't crash, get a second place and get 18 points, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing. And we win the Canadian Grand Prix.
Well done, good finish. You stepped up and achieved what we asked. Good job.
Second place, amazing.
Compared to our drivers here, they've worked hard to make it up there, and it's great to see them make their way out onto the podium.
And we get another trophy in this career mode so far in Season 2. It's been brilliant. And we're getting to the point now where we can start challenging for some of these wins. Unfortunately though, Hamilton got away, he got a clean air, he just couldn't do anything about it at that point.
Probably Carlos Sainz. You know, strong pace, good work with the strategy.
But you can see there, we're just a long way off in the Constructors. But in the Drivers, we're not too far behind. There's a chance we can win the Drivers' Championship. But the Constructors, that one is going to be hard. Now, we put some resource points into our engine. So, unfortunately, the way it's set up, you've got to do the energy recovery system, or ERS upgrades, and the efficiency ones, and also the fuel ones, before you can actually get to the real power unit ones. So it's going to be a while before we can upgrade the power units in terms of our raw power, but we can try our best to get somewhere and get close to that point where we can start upgrading the power units. So it's going to take a lot of points, you know, thousands and thousands of points, but in probably half a season we should be there from this point onwards. Now it does get pretty wet actually, but we managed to come out then at the end of Q2 and set a really nice time and win that session actually. And now we're setting a great time trying to get first and trying to get pole position in this qualifying session. We're on the, I think we're on the Hypersoft tyres right now, I believe, or the Ultra Softs. I think they're the pink ones, I think they're the Hypersofts. And I just love this track. It's so flowing and so nice to drive around. It is a power circuit, and luckily we've got quite a quick car on in a straight line. We're going to improve again then, a 130 points, I think that's 1.30.3. So, not a bad time, but will it be enough? Our actual last lap then, our last chance to get a faster lap in, is invalidated, but we still managed to absolutely smash it at 1.1 seconds to get pole position. Really amazing.
Looks like you had a great qualifying session. It must be a relief being that far up the grid.
And even the press, even the journalists, even the people interviewing me are happy with that result. So that just shows how good that result was in qualifying.
For the 2018 French Grand Prix. We're almost ready to go then, and this is what the starting grid looks like for today's race. Power lines up on pole position, and P2 goes to Daniel Ricciardo, a strong showing from the Australian. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Ocon, Sergio Perez, and Stroll, Sainz, Leclerc, Grosjean, and Sebastian Vettel, Raikkonen, Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton, and Gasly, Hulkenberg, Ericsson, Stoffel Van Dorn, and Fernando Alonso. Magnussen and Brendan Hartley rounds off the grid.
You've done well to put it on pole, but we've still got work to do. Trying to cover the inside line off the start.
Alright then, so it should be, based on qualifying, a fairly easy race, but we don't get the best starts. As we never really do in these races. I don't know how the computer does it, but we've got a few cars trying to go up our inside. We get absolutely sandwiched by Bottas and Ricciardo there, and I think Bottas has lost his front wing. Let's have a look at this replay then. So we just set off in a straight line. We've done nothing wrong, I believe, in this race start. I don't think we've done anything wrong at all, but it's just that those two behind just crash into each other, and then that causes an effect onto me and they hit me, but luckily it's my back end. And on this game, the back end, it has a lot of durability. As you can see now with Bottas, he tries to go up with Ricciardo. I think he hits Ricciardo and that forces him into me, and it just ended up being a complete mess. And I think Ricciardo's fine, I think his front wing's okay, but Bottas, he is going to be very slow in this race. But we can just push on now, we've got loads of fuel, we can really push on with that ERS. So I realised in this race that the ERS was going down really slowly, and we're recovering it quite quickly. Because it's a nice long straight, and if you go on a long, and after that there's a quite heavy braking zone. If you've got tracks where you've got long straights and heavy braking zones after the straight, like having this, then you can really run a lot of ERS in this race, and then use it quite well and get a lot of pace out of it. So that's quite nice. But I get a new strategy option here. I look at it and I think keep the current at 4 laps, or I can change on lap 3. I didn't know what to do at this point. I was thinking, well, I'm right ahead anyway, there's no point. I'm actually going a lot faster than Ricciardo right now. I might as well leave it a bit, go an extra lap. I nearly miss the pit lane there. I nearly hit the wall and nearly go into speeding. I could have made a massive error then, and it cost me a lot of time. But we're coming for our first pit stop then. In lap 5, well lap 4 actually, it turned into lap 5, and you know, we're not coming out in too much of a bad position. We should be in clean air as well, which will mean they can really push and hopefully not lose any time. But we're ahead of Perez, which is nice. But we'll have to see what happens with Ricciardo next then. So we're ahead of our teammate as well, but I think Ricciardo's stayed out. I think he has stayed out a bit longer for another lap, so he's really going far in this race. But by doing so, he might be losing a lot of time. As you can see up ahead now, we've got quite a few cars just being in the way and being really annoying, unfortunately. I think is that Bottas as well, ahead of Hartley? It is actually. Now he really fell back in this race after losing his front wing. It was absolutely atrocious, his pace. And it just meant that me and Ricciardo could really get away, and it's pretty much secured me a second place at least, as we get really close to Hartley there. And Fernando Alonso, unfortunately, is out of the race. I don't know what happened to him, but we go past Bottas. Just see how much time we've made up. And actually, we're going to go past Ricciardo. And we've made a lot of time up on Ricciardo. We're miles ahead. It should be a nice cruise to the finish now for the next 6 laps. Because this race has been probably the easiest race by a long way of this season. We're going to go and win the race, hopefully. We do. I mean,
absolutely fantastic.
That was easy.
Well done.
And the engineer is very happy as well. The team are happy with that. I mean, they have to be. We win the race. You can't do better than that, really.
Brilliant stuff from Williams today. What a superb victory.
But we don't just win, we dominate. We absolutely dominate. And it's a very, very easy cruise to the finish there. I feel like the difficulty is a bit too low right now. But we'll see if this dominance continues. If it does, we'll increase difficulty. But yeah, not a bad result there. First place, 25 more points.
From the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
Oh, here they are now. I always love seeing the independent teams do well. Williams have a long and storied history with F1, and I'm delighted to see them on the top step of the podium.
Getting that first place trophy. Lovely jubbly.
It's nonsense.
And now let's take a look at the constructors' standings. Ferrari extend their lead at the top of the championship. Meanwhile, Renault move up the table with another strong performance this weekend. There'll be plenty more twists and turns to...
So, 15 points ahead of Red Bull. We also do our team goal as well, which means you get another 600 resource points. So far, this Williams team is in a good place after winning that last race.
Let's try again.
We then try to renegotiate our contract, as I think it's every 4 races we get to renegotiate another contract.
Right,
so, managed to get some more perks in there. We've got full race bonus, full upgrade speed, full simultaneous upgrades. I think we've got 20% or 10% on the pit speed, and then target of 5th place, or 5th place I think, for the race and the qualifying targets. So overall, not bad. And we're going to try and upgrade some parts as well right now. We've got an ultimate upgrade coming up soon. That'll come in 3 weeks, I believe. But yeah, 2nd place in last race and 1st place in this race. It's been a very good episode, very successful episode. and we've bagged in 2 more trophies. So thank you very much for watching the video. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, and if you have, subscribe and turn on those notifications so you don't miss future videos. So have a nice day, and I'll see you in the next one.